What's going on? It's Justeeni here. I wanted an excuse to make a video about Luxidoor because it's been a minute. I've been playing a good amount of games, like on normal lakes with Luxidoor, but I decided, they're like actually really strong on tiny lakes, and I haven't made a video about that like at all. So yeah, I'm probably gonna be making a ton of tiny lakes videos because tiny lakes is actually really fun. So here's a game. It's Luxidor versus Hoodrick. Hoodrick is like the other tribe that I feel like is in competition for the best tribes. Like the best tribe, period, on tiny lakes. I think there's like a lot of factors to consider, but I don't know. Luxidor is pretty good though. The spawn is like kind of really bad because I'm forced into climbing mining and they have their archers and stuff, but I mean Luxidor is good, so it's chill, Just kind of chill like that, I have climbing so I can get away with the Explorer. Nerfed Explorers actually means like getting Eye of God is not something you can expect to just do every single time without fail on tiny lakes, which I actually kind of prefer. Like if you want to get it, you have to be very intentional and make some smart setups, and sometimes that can be played around by the opponent, or at least if you can get a setup, it takes a long time. I get a Smithery Ruin here, which is very nice, but I decide instead of getting the Giant, I'm going to train a Sword. Why? I don't know. I kind of forgot that I could place a Forge here. So, a little silly me. But yeah, you can see Hoodrick playing very defensively. Lots of archers to stop me from getting on the Ruin. And they realize they've fallen behind because I have a Giant. They don't even have a level 2 city. So they're kind of cooked. I'm getting the Ruin eventually. The swords will overwhelm despite their number advantage. And yeah. I'll go ahead and cut to another game. Alright, here's some more games, mostly because it's really hard to find good games against randoms. They're playing Polaris. I don't recommend Polaris on tiny lakes, but you can kind of see what happens. Like, they're pretty interesting because, like, Moonichis can be a thing. But I mean, if the opponent knows how to score count, it's just not happening ever. And against Luxidor, even less so. Like, I guess Polaris can be, like, sometimes good against Hoodrick, maybe? Honestly, I might actually need to look into that. Maybe that could be a video. Polaris actually being, like, an anti-meta pick using, like, Ice Archers or something. I'm curious how well those do in the Archers. I mean, this is kind of a tangent, but, like, this gameplay is not the most interesting. I'm going to curb stomp the opponent once their Moonies die. Their economy is painfully slow because they've been spending all their stars on Moonies, and they're Polaris, so they don't have a strong economy to start. I now have a Giant. Not going for Park because their Moonies are about to die. No need to play around freezing by getting a Park. And then I'm going to trade Warriors because I have so many units. That is just kind of over. I go for Warriors into Archers. Riders also wins here. They can do whatever I want. And yeah. Very neat. They resign. Okay, let's look at another game. Okay, believe it or not, another Polaris game. Now, this player was actually pretty good. They're a Polytopia player, so they know what they're doing. But they go into the center for some reason. That was kind of a little silly on their part, but yeah, now I'm able to take the center because, yeah, if you walk in the center, it's pretty much always a death trap. And I was playing around the idea of Polaris existing. I knew they were in the north because of score counting. So I'm going to be able to hold on to a lot of cities. Explorer is very good here. Gives me one lighthouse, shows their capital. I can see what's going on. They're going to siege, but I don't care. I just unsiege. They're giving me ice bridges for my riders to then cause problems. And I just get more riders. They're doing some very smart ice breaking. I go for another Explorer, grab that lighthouse. It's gonna help me upgrade my capital. And almost there was a mountain here. If there wasn't, I would have gotten Eye of God. Very unfortunate, but it's still fine. I'll live. I believe they actually had a way of like holding the siege. I think they needed to move Mooney here, then this. And I believe, yeah, that does hold because if they use the warrior to kill, their riders are then in the way. So they had a nice way of actually retaking the city there, which I able to play around, but they didn't actually see it. I think they forgot that this Spoony makes ice, which allows me to unsiege. And then even if they take the city back, like maybe things get more interesting, but like I just have too much economy and units and all that. Like I might just take the city back outright. But yeah, now I have the whole map. I train a bunch of stuff. I get a pop road for giant, and then a second giant. They resign because their cap is in an unbreakable siege. And yeah, I mean, I know this wasn't like the best demonstration of how good Luxidoor is, but I think they are pretty good. I would highly recommend giving them a go. Just playing some tiny lakes in general. I think it's a good way. Like if you don't have a ton of time to play a game, just do some tiny lakes. It's fun. It's a little RNG because tiny maps have massive host advantage, but this is pretty fun. I like tiny lakes, and Luxidoor is pretty cool. They're pretty underrated. I haven't made enough videos on them, but yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Like and sub, and have a good one.